What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott. Welcome to the Scott Report, and today we're here to talk about episode 3 of The Ghost in the Shell, and something that always fascinated me about the world of Ghost in the Shell, something that's fascinating but scary, has always been that for all intents and purposes, like your mind, or even your soul, depending on how you want to look at things, is basically software in this world, and you can make enhancements and you can build it and do things that you like and completely make yourself a whole new person. The thing about that is, you can also be hacked, just like your mind or soul is software, and that's what we saw in this episode. I mean, a hacker can make you do whatever they want, they can make you feel whatever they want. And in this case, in episode 3, this dude was basically leading an entire life with a whole family that wasn't even real. I mean, that is just insane. It's very captivating and leading into this conversation and caution that we have in our current world right now, where you have to ask the question, when does technology go too far? On one hand, it's exciting to see all these type of things and this evolution, and to see, AI and computers and robots and things like that do all these good things like, delivery robots. But at the same time, there's also a fear of uprising because, hey, those delivery robots might actually go into attack mode or something like that. But it's just the way things is in this world, this futuristic world that's always so good, and it just makes you think. Now, if you guys have been around for the channel for quite some time, you know that psychological is my favorite anime genre, and people who are new here, psychological is my favorite genre of anime, and Ghost in the Shell just brings those type of things here in spades, as a lot of things that happen in this episode is questioning what's real, what's not. Am I even real? Like, we get to one point in the episode, like near the end, where the major's sitting down, and after she's looking at everything that went on with this last case, she's kind of like, if somebody's life and like their memories, everything could be altered like that, am I real? I mean, it was pretty cool how they went and showed like how the androids are built and everything like that, but to even have her to start to question her existence and if this world is even real, or even if she is the person that she thinks she is, it's the type of things like that that makes you think and makes this such a fascinating series. Fascinating, I'm gonna say that a lot, and I'm sorry, but it's just intriguing to have those type of questions, because that's basically what we deal with in this world. And it's also the fear of technology taking over. Like, even with the I'm gonna butcher their names every time. The Fukiomas, or the little spider robots. I'm just gonna say that so I don't confuse myself. We even get a little bit of them in this episode where they have conversations with themselves, where they sit and they start to say, you know what? Hey, if we really wanted to, we can straight up dominate these humans. Like, we can take all the power, we can take over. They're relying on technology. We can straight up rule if we wanted to. But then they also thought about it at the same time. Like, well, they do kind of fix us, and if we take over, then we probably have to do that ourselves. Not right now, but that is something we might be able to think about for the future. But the fact that they have their own intelligence and they think like that is pretty scary. And yeah, the world might just be in that point any day now, because we don't rely on technology so much. But it was cool to see that too. So what happens when someone in a high place start hacking people and people with power and things like that? The world could be in pretty big trouble. And that's what we're dealing with here as we get deeper into the story and we start to get into the puppet master, who is our main antagonist, and his wants and the things that he's trying to do. The ghost world never shied away from this type of thing, but at the same time, it's a world that's normal and people are just used to how things are, and they really don't have a second thought about these things anymore, unless you're one of these people who are just like not big on technology. But let's get to the meat of the episode, because that chase scene, that was what I was pleading for. Like, you guys remember, if I was just last episode, I was saying I really hope we get into the action, and boy did it not disappoint. I mean, the framing and how it looked, and even to the point where it almost looked like hand-drawn. People are dunking on it in the anime community, because that's just fun to do now. But it was absolutely fantastic to put that level of detail in it, how it was showing like the Major's ability, phasing in and out, her agility and things like that. And I was also surprised with how tense this ended up getting as well, because the guy who was running away went as far as, firing on civilians to escape. So at one point, the major's kind of worried about civilians, but at the same time, you need to stop this guy. Thankfully, Togusa came in, he laid this guy down, and he was talking to the major like, why don't you just stop him? He had no problem with trying to take you out. He had no regards to the people that's around. So I don't know why you were being so gentle with him. But at the same time, the major's like, well, we need him alive so we can question him and find out, why they were going around trying to hack everything. So yeah, that was pretty cool as well. But once we get into the core of the episode and what's going on and seeing what we were talking about at the top of the episode with people being altered, people could be who they want to be. First off, we see that the government, we saw that it was somebody on the inside who was doing this and helping the puppet master with this heist and everything, because, they're trying to get money, they're trying to embezzle, they're trying to do everything but what's good. And the puppet master is just like, this is a shell, it's a vessel, I can do whatever I want, you're not going to catch the real me, I'm just here so I can talk to you guys, I'm taking over this dummy just like I'm doing everybody else. I think the part that hit the most in the episode, besides, Bato and the little robot talking about, having choices, having lives and having souls and things like that, is that the puppet master is just hopping through bodies and taking people over the way he wants. Like one of the people that was apprehended, this guy's life was completely turned around. Like he thought he had a wife and a child and he was working a working man and living all this life, and it was fake. It wasn't even real. It was just something made up. So when he was caught, the puppet master can throw the blame on him and be like, yeah, it was just this guy. But if I need to, I can alter his mind. I can make him whoever you want. Just like the person that the major was chasing, this guy was a regular dude, but the puppet master instilled the life of a hitman into him, and he really did think he was that guy. And for all intents and purposes, he did pretty well. So maybe it can inject abilities too. It's just, this world of technology is just very scary. And when you get to the point where people can be controlled, I don't want to bring things down and say, I hope this is a future that we don't live in, because it would be pretty cool. But at the same time, it's just things like this is why people are worried about technology to begin with. And Ghost in the Shell always making you question these type of things is why it's been one of the most thought-provoking series, and one of the series that make you think. Like, this is one of the granddaddies of how far can technology go. Like in media, we've seen Blade Runner and Battlestar Galactica and things like that. The anime, we always had Ghost in the Shell, and things like that, Psychopaths, things that make you say, yeah, technology is great, but at the same time, we need to be worried, because just like the little spy robot said, if they really wanted to, they can take over and there'll be nothing we can do about it. And when you get somebody who can control all the technology like that, it makes things even more scary. So I guess that's the main theme of this episode, is this really drove home how dire a situation can be if everybody's walking around who's basically a robot. They lose control of themselves, or to the point where they don't even know who they are anymore, or even questioning who they are. That's a pretty big deal. And to make matters worse, it seems like the puppet master is just doing this for fun too. He's doing a lot of this just because he can. It doesn't really seem like he had, I'm pretty sure he has a major goal because what he's doing, but a lot of this stuff he's doing just because he has the ability to. So yeah, there's that. Going back to the Fuchiomas, and the major actually put the programming into them to start having thoughts and decisions and questioning, just so they won't get bored, and kind of put it in place so they won't, uprise. But I just kind of feeling I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen in this show, but if something like that happens for real, I think it will get to the point where they will just override the programming. But that, and again, the conversation that Bato had with the robot, where they was just talking about I want choice, I want a choice, I have a choice, I'm just like you. I'm a robot, but I'm just like you. And when that starts to happen, when things that are supposed to be made for manual labor and work start to have feelings, that's when you really start getting deep into things. And something about Ghost in the Shell is that it's vague on purpose. For those who have been around for a while, we're used to a certain format with anime, just like I said last week. Usually episode 2 is when they expand the world and let you know everything that's going on. Ghost in the Shell just kind of just drops you into all of this. And they don't really explain what's going on. Like, again, we've seen how the androids or the bodies are made. They touch on like how people are ghosts and how they're put into these. That's why you get what is called Ghost in the Shell, but they don't elaborate too much. They leave you to like make your own questions, make your own observations, and they just seem to be giving us little bits and pieces of everything that's going on episode after episode, which is great because it leads you to have a lot of talking points about things. And one thing about this series, it can be confusing, and I think like with the pacing of how things going, sometimes the pacing does feel a little bit rough. Like they will throw a lot of psychobabble into you and they're not really explaining things, but they dress it up so well and they do such a good job with the art, with the voice acting, with the music. It still makes you feel like you're watching the Ghost in the Shell of old, and it is the Ghost in the Shell of old. We just haven't seen this side of it before. So that's something that I really like about it. And being vague on purpose is kind of like on purpose, just like I'm saying, like they want you to have your own questions and thoughts about everything that's going on. So that's something that I really liked about it. So with this being episode 3 and it only being 10 episodes, I don't know if I really need to go on a 3-episode test because I'm going to be in with it for the long run. But I would like to know what you guys think. Like, do you guys enjoy this series? Are you going to drop it? Or are you going to stick with it? I love it. I can't wait to see where it goes. And I'm glad that we're finally seeing this, especially since I have not read the manga myself. So it seems like we're getting into the heart of the matter now. As things are getting more and more serious. We finally got the puppet master who did all this and just escaped and went to another body somewhere. I'm just like, I'm out of here. Catch you next time, suckers. So I guess the chase is on with him now too. And because of everything that did transpire in this episode, that is why you have a team like the Shell Squad to make everything right. But I can tell you one thing, one benefit of being an android is I wouldn't be sweating like a damn preacher like I am in this video. But again, I don't think we need an episode test for this. This was not a make or break episode for me because I knew I was going to be in it for the long run. But it's backed by the strength of how easily your life just can be altered in the digital world. Like even now, like with everything being with technology, like you barely even use money anymore. Somebody can just hack into your card and your life is gone. But anyway, themes from the 90s that are still relevant today show just how ahead of time Ghost in the Shell was, and things like this were even back in the 70s and 80s. Even before then, when they were talking about stuff, you could find like many sci-fi novels that are talking about things that are still relevant today. And that's what's so fascinating about cyberpunk, about sci-fi. And that's just why it's one of my favorite genres. So I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, guys. Let me know what you thought of episode 3 in the comments below. Let me know some of your thoughts, how you're feeling about things. Are you excited for this? Are you going to stay with it? What you think about the Puppet Master and all that good stuff? I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. So guys, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what I'm doing around here. Hit the like, hit the bell so you know when I drop. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch at The Scott Report for some gaming goodness. With Marvel Tokon coming out, you can definitely see that I'll be here either Friday or Saturday, or if not every Saturday, if you want to catch me on there. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now. But you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.